Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have to share with you 3 very fun, very easy, very functional, and very pretty DIYs created with the bamboo cutting boards from the kitchen department at the Dollar Tree. Aside from a few pieces of scrapbook paper, which, by the way, some Dollar Trees carry small booklets of scrapbook paper, all of the materials I used for these 3 projects were from the Dollar Tree. Welcome to all visiting my channel today, and if you like this tutorial, please subscribe if you are not currently a subscriber, and give this video a thumbs up, and please feel free to leave me your comments and let me know which of the 3 is your favorite. I would appreciate that, as this helps my channel to grow. Okay, let me show you how I created these very pretty yet functional Dollar Tree DIYs. Let's start with project number 1. And this is going to be a riser suitable for as a candle holder or to place a picture frame. This turned out so pretty, and it was so easy to make. And I'm going to show you how I created this piece. I have here one of the bamboo cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. Again, they're found in the kitchen department. I like these because they're very sturdy. They're of a nice thickness. They're always straight and not bowed. And they just make a really cute riser, as well as other functions that you could use them for, as you'll see. Now, these pieces, I have seen these in every Dollar Tree. They're usually near the picture frames. Not really sure what they're intended for. I guess maybe like a wall decor, but I'm going to use them in a different way. Now, there was 2 different styles that I had in my stash. I had picked these up not pretty recently. So in fact, I have seen them at the Dollar Trees that I've been frequenting lately. So I'm going to use one of those, and I have some of these little wood pieces that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. Now, at the Dollar Tree, you could find something to suffice, whether it's beads or some of the little wood blocks that they have in the wood department. I have there a can of spray paint because I'm going to be spray painting that piece white. I have a little bit of spackle here to repair the hole that will be seen in that piece if I don't fill it. So I want to take care of that, as this is going to be a decorative piece now. And I have this absolutely gorgeous book of scrapbook papers that I had purchased at Hobby Lobby at some point in time at 40% off. The pieces of scrapbook paper in this book are absolutely magnificent. However, you don't have to use this scrapbook paper. There are so many to choose from. And I'm going to give you some examples here. Now, you may want your riser to have a completely different look than mine. So I'm going to give you some ideas. This is a beautiful rose, kind of a parchment type of a scrapbook paper. Here's a marble look. Maybe you like little flowers. And here's another, just kind of a, I don't know, some type of design. Here's another marble look. Look how beautiful these scrapbook papers are. Maybe you like a larger floral fun print like that. Or maybe polka dots. These are beautiful scrapbook papers from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to be using that piece, however, on another project. And there's that pineapple paper. No, I just love that one. I use that in my pineapple wreath, and I adore this paper, this gold metallic with little white flowers. Oh my goodness. But that's just an example. of different styles that you could go with for this piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the tassels and the beads from this piece, and I do save everything. And you never know when I might want or need a tassel or some beads. So I always save that kind of thing. Now I have this piece. It is kind of like an MDF board or MDF wood. And I'm going to take some spackle. There's 2 holes in that decorative piece there, and I'm just going to fill those holes with the spackle. And once it's dry, I'm just going to take the zip sander and just smooth that out. I think I'm going to be using the, not the black side, but the other side. I believe I spray painted that side. You're only going to have to spray paint one side of this because it's actually going to be glued to the little riser. And I'm going to be using this as a riser for a candle. Now, after this dries, like I mentioned, you're just going to take a zip sander and sand and smooth that out. I'm going to be spray painting that piece white as well as the bamboo cutting board. Now, my spackle is dry. That happens really quickly. And I'm just taking my zip sander and smoothing that out before I take it outside to give it a spray of white spray paint. I used Rust-Oleum spray paint. I used a satin in white. There, I'm showing you right there. Now I'm going to be covering the top of my riser. Now you can see that my riser is all dried from the spray paint. I'm going to be placing that cutting board on top of this beautiful scrapbook paper. I'm trying to show you here. Hopefully you'll be able to see that beautiful print on there. What I'm doing here is trying to position my cutting board on that pattern so that I get the pattern on the riser just the way I want it. But what I'm going to be doing is tracing around that bamboo cutting board with a pencil. Now for the feet, as you can see off to the right there, I just spray painted those with black spray paint, and then I put a layer of acrylic paint because I wanted that finish, that nice, more glossy finish. I just took those outside and spray painted them, and then I just applied a little bit of black acrylic paint. Now I'm cutting out, obviously, I'm cutting out my scrapbook paper, and this is going to be Mod Podge right on top of that cutting board. I put my Mod Podge in a squirt bottle. That's my preference. And I use a sponge applicator. And I'm just going to cover. I did spray paint both sides of that cutting board, just if you want the back side finished. You can do both sides. If it doesn't matter to you, then just spray the top and the sides. Now I'm going to put a nice generous coat of Mod Podge on there. And I'm going to place that scrapbook paper on top of there. And that's going to be the top of my riser. And this is going to give it a beautiful decorative finish. This is very, very sturdy scrapbook paper that's going to go on this cutting board, that black piece there. It's one of the more, the heavier scrapbook papers, and these are so wonderful to work with because there is no such thing as bubbling underneath your scrapbook paper with the Mod Podge. So now, if you have any areas that aren't perfect edges on that piece, If you're using a heavier scrapbook paper, then you could just go around with scissors and trim anything up. If you're using a very lightweight, thin scrapbook, look how pretty that is, thin scrapbook paper, then once you have that on the cutting board, you can use a zip sander and just go around the edges and remove any excess. But this scrapbook paper is heavy, and I won't need to do that, but I'm showing you there. If you have a thin scrapbook paper, you could just use that little zip sander. You can also use a napkin. If you have a beautiful napkin that you want to use on this piece, you can use a napkin to Mod Podge onto there. Now I'm going to take my very cute little feet for this riser. I'm going to use Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I'm going to go ahead and glue those to all four corners of my riser. Now, as far as colors, it's just up to you. I mean, be creative. Choose scrapbook papers and colors that really suit your taste, suit your preferences, suit your environment, suit your decor in your home. Okay, so I have spray painted my piece, and I think it looks just beautiful. Now, for this piece, I'm using that decorative piece there. That I'm not sure what we're calling it, but this is the decorative piece, the white piece. I'm going to be placing my candle on that. Now, you could also use this as a riser for a small picture frame. That's up to you. You do you. But I'm going to be placing this piece right on top of my riser. Now, you can place it directly in the middle, or you can, like so, or you can place it off to one side. And that's exactly what I decided to do with mine. Now, with that empty area, you do you. You choose what you want to do with that area. You could also put one of those little tiny picture frames on that side, or you could just put a beaded garland or whatever, or just leave it plain, whatever you like. But I'm going to go ahead and use Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I'm going to glue that right down to the top of that riser onto that scrapbook paper. And this is very simple and just so pretty and just so easy to do. So I'm just going to turn it over now and just go around that piece and put a stream of Aleene's Tacky Glue all the way around that piece. And no one would ever know that that was a cutting board from the kitchen department at the Dollar Tree. I think this turned out so pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to apply that now to the riser. Make sure I have it placed correctly on the piece, leaving a little bit of space around the edges. And I'm going to just be placing a heavy, I think I put a candle on there, just to let that glue set and adhere very well on that piece. Yes, that's what I did. And that was so easy to do. Think about the possibilities. Okay, next up, I'm doing a tray for a desk tray, or a tray for your kitchen counter, or wherever you'd like to put it. And this is like a type of a riser, but I'm turning it into a tray to hold desk items. In this case, envelopes, mail, whatever, and a little box to hold paper clips or Post-its, perfect size for Post-its, or push pins or whatever. Okay, those little, the little black pieces that I had in my hand, again, same department as I picked up those other decorative pieces. These are smaller. I want to say around 3 inches, 3.5 inches maybe. And I picked those up at the Dollar Tree too. And I got 2 of them because I'm going to be creating a slot for, mail or envelopes or whatever, just a place to keep things on your desk. So that little wood box, I picked that up at Dollar Tree. Like I said, all these items are from the Dollar Tree. You could literally go to the Dollar Tree and make this entire piece, with the exception of possibly scrapbook paper. Now, there are some Dollar Trees that I have heard, I haven't personally seen it myself, that are carrying small booklets of scrapbook paper. So you can look for that. If not, honestly, every other week, this scrapbook paper is on sale at Hobby Lobby. It is just very inexpensive if you get it when it's on sale. So I'm going to be taking that gold metallic paper with the little flowers, and that's going to be covering the surface of my desk tray. And then I'm going to be covering the sides of the box with the white scrapbook paper with the tiny metallic gold polka dots. You're going to need 4 jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree. This is going to help support those round pieces that are going to serve as the sides of the, let's just call it a mail slot. And then that box, which you could, as I mentioned, Post-its fit perfectly in there, or whatever desk materials that you can imagine you would want to place in there. So again, these pieces came like the other pieces that I just showed you, or the other piece that I used on my first project, but these are smaller. Again, I want to say maybe 3.5 to 4 inches. Now, I pulled off the burlap twine that was attached to that, and I'll put those beads aside and the tassels, and then I pulled out the staples. I'm going to be spray painting both sides of those pieces. Now, I'm going to be placing that cutting board on the scrapbook paper, and I'm going to be covering that cutting board the same as I did for the candle holder. I'm just going to trace around it with a pencil, cut it out, and Mod Podge it onto the surface of that cutting board. Now, this scrapbook paper is another one of those really sturdy scrapbook papers, so I really love using them. These scrapbook papers are $1.99, but I never pay that. Every other week, if I have an upcoming project, I make certain I get my scrapbook papers at 40% off. I'm going to carefully cut that out. And again, this is a thicker scrapbook paper, so once you have it on the cutting board, if you need to do any trimming, you could just do that with your scissors. Again, if you're using a thinner, much more lightweight scrapbook paper, you can use a zip sander to finish up any of the edges that might need to be finished. This paper is so pretty. But I could see this desk tray in so many different styles, flowers, polka dots. Oh my goodness, stripes. It's just limitless what you could do with this piece. Again, you do you. Choose something that reflects your taste and your personality. This would also be a cute gift for someone if you're looking to make a handmade gift for a very low cost. Guys, this is a Dollar Tree materials. Okay, let's get busy putting some Mod Podge. Again, a moderate, nice, even coat all over the top of that piece. And then you're just going to place that scrapbook paper right on the Mod Podge. You can smooth that out with your hand, just like you did with the other piece. I think this piece would look awesome with flowers. I did use flowers, but this one's a little bit more, because it's got the gold metallic, it's a little, I don't want to say dressy, that's not the right word, but I just think it's so pretty with the gold. And see how it just goes on there so smooth and so beautiful. And I did use my scissors to trim it up. All I do is turn it over on the back side and then just go around the edge with my scissors. Smooth it out with my hand. There are no bubbles, but I just want to make sure that I have everything all pressed down. Now for the feet, I spray painted those the same little wood pieces that I used for the candle holder riser. And I just spray painted those outside, and I'm going to be placing those on each corner of the bottom of that desk tray or desk riser, whatever you would like to call it. I think I'm trimming there. Sorry, my hand is a little bit out of frame there. Okay, now I have a beautiful finished top for my piece. Now I'm going to measure out my scrapbook paper I wanted to go around the outside of my box, and I chose this paper that goes extremely well with the flowered paper, and it's a white scrapbook paper with tiny gold metallic polka dots. And again, this is one of those heavier, really beautiful papers from Hobby Lobby. So I was able to get enough of a long enough piece that I could go around all three sides of my box, and then I just had to finish up with the last piece by cutting another one just to finish up that fourth side. That box, by the way, is 4 inches by 4 inches, and it's in the Crafter's Square section at the Dollar Tree. I'm using one of my paper cutter there. If you don't have one of these, oh my goodness, they're so awesome. Terrific for cutting a straight line. If you're really into using scrapbook papers for different projects, this is an awesome thing to purchase. I believe mine is Fisker's. I just love to use that. And I love scrapbook papers, so for me it was, a no-brainer purchase. It was just something that I really had to have. Now for my box, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I spray painted that front, back, sides, everywhere on the entire box when I took my wood pieces for the feet outside to spray those. And I also spray painted those round decorative pieces as well as the 4 Jenga blocks. I didn't think you needed to see me spray painting, so I didn't take you outside with me. That's pretty elementary, just to spray paint something. Okay, so now I'm using my Mod Podge, and I'm going to go around that piece and Mod Podge on all of my pieces. Actually, like I mentioned, I was able to do 3 sides of that box with the length of the paper. So that worked out really well. And then I just pieced the 4th piece on there. Now again, as I mentioned, Post-it notes fit perfectly inside of that box. I would probably use mine for Post-it notes. A perfect place to keep them. You could also put paper clips, push pins, rubber bands, a combination of things like that, whatever you like. And I have that extra piece there. I've already measured it out. I just laid, as you saw what I did before, I just laid my box down on my scrapbook paper, and I just used my pencil, just like I used for the other pieces that I cut out for the scrapbook paper. And then to get a nice straight cut, I just used my cutter. So here comes the 4th side and the 4th extra piece. Now I'm going to be gluing this box right onto that that piece, the riser or the tray, whatever it is you want to call it. And again, easy enough to trim up these pieces with some sharp scissors. As you see me doing there. I'm just going to go around the piece, make sure everything is well adhered. And I'm just going to be using Aleene's Tacky Glue to glue that right to that scrapbook paper on the cutting board. And there you have it. Looks very pretty, all finished in polka dots. I have some areas there on the bottom, as you can see, that needs to be trimmed up, but that's easy to do, especially with that scrapbook paper that's of a sturdy texture. Okay, so now I'm going to be placing these Jenga blocks on this scrapbook paper and the cutting board. Now I want to glue 2 of the pieces end to end. I just take my Aleene's Tacky Glue, press those together, and then I'm going to take a ruler and place it alongside of it just to be sure I have them nice and straight. And these are going to serve as kind of like a brace for those 2 decorative pieces so they can stand up and serve as a mail holder. I'm just going to wait for those to dry before I continue to put everything. There's my pieces all pretty and sprayed white. See what a difference spray paint makes. Oh my gosh. What would we do without spray paint? It's so wonderful. Especially on a piece like this that has so many little grooves in it in the design. Can you imagine if you had to paint that with a paintbrush? Oh, good heavens, that would take forever. So spray paint, awesome. Okay, so I put my 2 pieces down, and as you can see, this is how I'm going to adhere those 2 decorative round pieces so that I can get them to stand up. But first, I'm going to put on the feet. I'm going to use Aleene's Tacky Glue. I put the feet on all 4 corners. I had so much fun making these pieces. And what fun to see how high-end of pieces that I could make with items from the Dollar Tree. I just love a good challenge. And so I challenged myself to come up with 3 pieces using those bamboo cutting boards. I've been eyeing them for quite some time, and I finally got around to doing it. Okay, so we have all 4 of our feet on our piece. And I'm going to give that a little bit of time to dry. And then we're going to apply everything to the top of that piece. All right, so now I am deciding here how wide I'm going to leave us of the space in between the Jenga blocks. So I want to have enough room so that you could put a number of pieces of mail or envelopes in there. So as you can see, the Jenga blocks are on the inside, okay? And the decorative circular pieces are going to be facing toward the front and toward the back. Now I want to make sure I have it, centered. And this is how I'm going to be gluing those pieces onto that riser or that desk tray. Those Jenga blocks are serving as a brace to keep that standing up, as well as the tacky glue that I'm going to be putting on the bottom, and that's going to adhere very well to that scrapbook paper. So firstly, I'm going to be gluing those Jenga blocks to the back of that piece. But as usual, my tacky glue is stopped at. Nothing new. I'm always unjamming that. But I love Aleene's Tacky Glue. But one thing I decided was a quick way to open up that tacky glue is I take a little piece of pipe cleaner, I stick it down in there and pull it out, and that really does the trick. Okay, so I'm placing my Jenga blocks down there, and I'm going to press my circle right down to the cutting board. I'm showing you there. And I'm going to let that dry. Look how pretty that looks with it sprayed white. This piece came out so pretty. And I'm going to do the other one as well. Now I'm doing this gluing on the back side, and I'm placing my Jenga blocks on the back side of my circular pieces. Remember, you want the pretty side of those decorative pieces facing out, or actually it's going to be facing the front and facing the back. Now I decided between the Jenga blocks I left about 1.25 inches. I figured that that was a good amount of space to leave for the purpose of holding mail or envelopes or, whatever to put in there. Now I'm going to put the Aleene's Tacky Glue on the bottom. And I'm going to center that, leave a little bit of room at the edge. You don't want it all the way up to the very edge, but leave a little bit of room there. Making sure that I have it centered. And these Jenga blocks did a really great job of holding that up while it dries. It makes such a pretty piece, don't you think? If you like what you see on this tutorial, I hope you leave me your comments. Let me know which of these 3 pieces is your favorite. Now, if you go to a Dollar Tree and you don't find every single bit of materials that I'm showing you here, be patient and go to another one. I find that Dollar Trees are different. Okay, I have about, I want to say 4 to 5 Dollar Trees that I stop by when I get a chance, depending upon where I'm at. And some Dollar Trees are better than others. And what you might find at one, you may not find at another. But don't give up by just going to one Dollar Tree, because it's really worth the extra effort. And it's fun to collect the materials and do some fun pieces for, an inexpensive price point. So don't get discouraged if you don't find everything at one Dollar Tree. I see a lot of people get discouraged by that, but honestly, I don't find everything at one. I just stop by Dollar Trees when I see them. I go in and I pick up items I think that I might use. And so I can tell you that I have seen these decorative pieces, both of them, the one on the candle holder and the one that you're looking at right here. I have seen those at so many Dollar Trees for quite some time. I think I purchased mine probably a month ago, but recently I've seen them. Again, look in the department by like the picture frames. That's where I found mine. Okay, Aleene's Tacky Glue. It's going on the bottom of this box. This is going to hold this right on this piece like a charm. Now I'm going to leave a little space in the front. Now, depending on how you want to look at this desk tray, you can place it whichever direction you like. I think it's pretty from all sides. So you do you. But if you want the decorative pieces to face you, then you're going to have to use it longwise, I guess you could say, like that. Or turn it around the other way, which is what I would do. And I would put Post-it notes or something of the like in there. So I'm putting my little container of spackle in there to hold that down. And I'm just going to let everything dry. Okay, project number 3. I love this one. This one could serve different purposes. You could put this by your front door to place items on when you come into the house. You could put this in the bathroom to hold a hand towel. It's so pretty. And it can be done in so many different ways. Use your creativity. Okay, here we go. Another cutting board. I have a beautiful, heavy, again, a heavy piece of beautiful black and gold scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. And this hook is from the Dollar Tree. Again, I have seen these hooks everywhere. You should not have a problem finding them. Now, this hook is too brassy looking for me. I want to spray mine with a metallic gold spray paint so that I can match it with that beautiful metallic gold on that scrapbook paper. This was the easiest of the 3 projects and the quickest. I used black Apple Barrel, I believe that's Apple Barrel acrylic paint, but you could use any brand. And I painted that cutting board. I painted the back and the sides. I'm going to be covering the top. Now, before I do all that, I'm going to put a little bracket on the back to hang it by. You want to do this before you put your hook on. Now, I'm going to take the screws as well from that decorative hook. Actually, on the back of that decorative hook, they provided screws, and I'm going to be spray painting those gold as well. And I'm showing you right there, there's a little baggie on the back that has the screws, and I'm going to spray those when I spray the hook, which I'm going to do outdoors. Now, I'm going to take my drill with a very small drill bit, and I'm going to just start the holes to put my bracket on, because that bamboo cutting board is a little bit difficult to do with just using a screwdriver. So I just wanted to get that started, and I'm going to place some tiny screws in there that came with the bracket, and that way I have a means to hang my piece. As I mentioned, I am going to be painting the back of this piece black and the sides as well. I just use a paintbrush for that. And now I have my little tiny screwdriver, and I'm just going to screw those little screws in so I have a nice hanger for my hook. Okay, now I'm going to go about painting my piece. I only needed 1 coat. This is black, and it covered very well, of course. There's so many, I could think of so many uses for this piece. Just as a single hook for all kinds of purposes. Okay, now I have my piece all painted black, and I have my hanger on there, and now I'm going to cut out my scrapbook paper and Mod Podge it to the other side. This provides a really pretty background to place that hook on. Just going to take my pencil, like I did for the other pieces, trace around it, and then cut it out with the scissors. Trying to get everything aligned with the edge there so I can use as little of a piece as possible, so I'll have some left over for another project. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out with some nice sharp scissors. Any trimming, again, same as the other pieces. This is the heavier scrapbook paper, so you can just trim it up with scissors. But again, if you have a thinner, just use the zip sander. And also, if you use a thinner scrapbook paper, I like to take a piece of plastic wrap or saran wrap and ball it up and just smooth out any potential wrinkles in the scrapbook paper. That is if you use a lightweight scrapbook paper. Now you could use a napkin for this, but you would have to have a big napkin that has a continuous pattern in order for it to look well on the piece. If you use a napkin, I would suggest you Mod Podge, put the napkin, and wait to put the napkin on after the Mod Podge is dry. Put a piece of parchment paper over the napkin and then just iron it and just activate the Mod Podge. But I think it would be a little more difficult to do a napkin. If I were you, I would go with the scrapbook paper. And all I have to do is easily smooth that down because of the type of paper that I'm using. So pretty. This would be beautiful in a bathroom where there's a lot of black. And if you had hardware on your cabinets that's in gold, oh, that would be so pretty. With a beautiful hand towel hanging from it in black. Oh my gosh, that'd be gorgeous. Maybe with a gold monogram. Oh, my mind is going crazy thinking of all the possibilities. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece outside along with the screws and give it a spray of that metallic gold spray paint, and it just accepts the paint so beautifully. Just a quick coat and it was covered. And here we have that hook. Look how pretty that turned out. And this is from the Dollar Tree. My goodness. Who'd have ever known that was a bamboo cutting board? Okay, so I'm going to use my ruler to try and center that as much as possible. Now I am going to be screwing this on with the screws that it came with. Now, ultimately, what happened when I went to screw this in was from the back side, those screws were a little bit deeper. I thought that was going to be even, but it in fact wasn't perfect. So it ended up coming through the back with just a very tiniest bit of the screw. Both of the screws, there's 2 screws. And I'm going to show you how I remedied that situation so easily. So if you would like, maybe if you want to, if you have any screws that are a little shorter than the ones that came with that hook, you might want to try and use those instead. And don't forget to spray paint them. But I would make sure that the head of the screw is the same as the one that came with that hook. Now I'm taking a marker here and I'm just stuck it right in the holes where the screws go. And I just wanted to get this screw that started a little bit so that I could just hand screw those in. Now I'm going to show you. There's my screws. So I've got my holes started there. At least one of them is started there. And then I could just take my small screwdriver and just screw those screws in. Now I wanted that to be really tight and flush with the hook. So what I realized was in the aftermath that I went through the bamboo cutting board a little tiny bit. It's ever so slight. So I'm just letting you know that if you can make that adjustment with the screws, that would be good. But if not, I wouldn't worry about it because I have a perfect resolve for that. And my second screw is going in. Now this is the easiest of the three projects, obviously, but I have to say, one of my favorites. I absolutely love this piece. I think it is just so pretty. But I could also see this piece, and oh my goodness, in so many different colors, so many different types of scrapbook paper. You could just customize this to the room that you want to hang it. Look how pretty. I love it. Okay, now here's where I'm noticing, it came through the back. But first thing that I did, I love that. First thing that I did was I took my wire cutters and I was able to snip off the sharp point on the back. So let me show you what I did. I took two really small beads. I put them over the top of where that little bit of screw pokes through there. And I just alien tacky glued them right over my little oops. And this works so phenomenal. You'll never know, and it will completely conceal the little point of the screw coming through that cutting board. And that's how I fixed that little problem. Not a bad idea, huh? I think that worked out really well. So I'll let that dry. And that is the conclusion of DIY number 3. And I'm just showing you there my candle all lit up and pretty. My little candle riser with my Dollar Tree items. So pretty. And I thought I had a clip with all 3, but I didn't. Okay, so until next time, I hope you love this one. You all take care.